Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break. Today we're sharing another Social Media 101 episode, and we're going to give you 3 tips for using email to promote your book.
One of the simplest ways you can promote your book is to create a unique email signature that has the title of your book and a hyperlink to your favorite bookseller's page or your publisher's page, somewhere where they can go and find your book, find out more about it, and buy it. You can also have social media links down below that, so if you're active on Facebook or Twitter and you want to direct people to those feeds as well, just have a quick icon or a link in there, and that's a really easy way to do it too. Not too obtrusive, really simple.
So a second thing that you can do is send an announcement email. A great time to do this would be on your book birthday or when your book is published. And you can just send this to close family and friends, whoever you feel comfortable sending it to, and giving the title of your book, a short description, where they can buy it, or just a hyperlink on the title, whatever you would like to do, and invite them to read it or review it or tell their friends, whatever you are comfortable asking them to do. But I think they would be happy to know that your book is out finally.
Right. I mean, if you're sharing this with the right audience, these are people who have supported you, who want to see you succeed, so it's fine to be a little braggy in your announcement email.
You can also invite them to subscribe to your email newsletter, which leads us to a third thing that you can do.
Yeah, a third thing you can do is create an author newsletter.
Obviously, this is more involved, and this is, kind of the premium package of email promotion.
This is like top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is obviously more of a time commitment than the other two are, because you'd want to be sending out a newsletter on a fairly regular basis. But it can also really pay off in the long run.
Definitely. This is a great place to include content that you might have shared on social media or exclusive content. You'll want to have a mix of both. Some people might not see everything that you post, and they just want like a 1-month wrap-up of everything that you're doing.
1 month is a good time frame to shoot for, because like quarterly, or like bi-monthly is too infrequent, but then if you're sending them every week or every 2 weeks, then it's like, oh man, another email clogging up my inbox.
Why did I even subscribe to this?
Unsubscribe! Which is awful.
Worse. So yeah, monthly is good. You can share photos from author signings and events or promote future events. You can share short essays or interviews with other authors and illustrators. You definitely want to give your readers another extra little reason to subscribe.
And a good way to do this, to kind of give people an incentive to read your newsletter, is to have giveaways in your newsletter. You can give away copies of your book or of your friends' books. You can have exclusive interviews with you and your other writer friends. Something like that, some kind of really unique, cool thing that the readers can, latch onto and say, oh yeah, I want to check this section out.
This doesn't also have to be a very long newsletter. There should be enough content that it would be bigger than, just a couple Facebook posts. But it doesn't need to be like 6 or 7 articles of stuff that you've done recently. It can just be like one main article and a few other tidbits.
Yeah, if you're including more than a dozen things in your newsletter, probably people won't read it all.
How do you have time to do a dozen things that are worth talking about? Also, I'm impressed with you.
But that's a good point. Newsletters can take up a lot of time, and a good way to cut that down is to hire someone to do it for you.
Chances are you've already had you've needed to ask someone to build your website for you. Obviously, authors are great at writing, but that doesn't mean they're great at writing code.
I mean, you should be able to. Everyone should know code these days, right?
Do you know code?
No, but I also don't know how to change a tire, so there are lots of life skills that I'm failing at.
Anyways, chances are you know someone who could help you with this.
Yeah, one of our authors, Bryant, that's how she creates her newsletter, Flying Tidings. She, creates the content, decides what she wants to go on it, and then she sends it all in a Word document to the people who are in charge of managing her website. And they create, a nice pretty layout for her, and she's like, yep, that's good. stamp of approval ready to go.
If you don't want to hire someone, you feel like that's a little extra expense than you were looking for, you're willing to give in the time if you just know what to do, you should definitely check out MailChimp or Constant Contact or Emma. These are all different newsletter services that have really easy templates that you can just plug your content into and it makes them look nice. You want to take a little bit of time to choose which template you want to use each time and your color scheme, but once you've done it once or twice, it'll be smooth sailing.
So you'll want your newsletter to look organized, you'll want to have everything readily apparent, so if someone wants to go to a particular section, they can do it really easily. You want it to look professional, lots of good white space, not too many bold colors or weird fonts or anything like that.
Yeah, just make sure that it's easy to read. If you're a colorful person, you can have a colorful newsletter, just don't make it like 10 different colors.
If it looks like a Lisa Frank page, you've gone too far.
Unless you're Lisa Frank.
Yeah. So once you have your e-newsletter, you've decided on the content, you have a nice layout, how do you get people to subscribe?
Well, at the bottom of your newsletter, you're going to want to have a link for forward and subscribe. Now, this sounds a little counterintuitive because why do people need a subscribe button at the bottom of the email they received because they subscribed? Well, a lot of times, readers will forward this email to a friend that they think would be interested, and that friend needs an easy way to subscribe themselves. A lot of newsletter services will give that as an option, which is great, so make sure you enable that. You'll also want to have a subscribe button on your website, preferably on the home page. It can be not very obtrusive, but easy to find, easy to click, and enter your email, and good to go. A third way is a little bit more work, but has a high payoff. Whenever you go to shows or signings or whatever other events you have, bring slips of paper so that people can sign up. So it's more work because they'll just be handwriting their email and you'll have to type it in, but you'll get a lot of subscribers who already know you.
And you can always have, your assistant just type in
Yeah,
those
that
emails.
assistant that you hired for your Facebook page.
Yeah, the random stranger on the street, just have them type it up.
Yeah. If you want to get really high tech, you could make this work by bringing an iPad to all of your events, and you won't have to type everything in, but slips work just as well. No matter which email promotion method you use for your book, just remember to follow our general social media guidelines. Above all, be interesting, be yourself, and don't be that guy.
Right. If you post too often, if you only talk about yourself, you're going to sound like an egomaniac, and people won't like you.
It's true.
Yeah. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. And make sure that you only email people who have subscribed to you. I mean, your announcement email, those are people you already know. Your newsletter, only send it to your subscribers. You do not want to be branded a spammer because that's like the worst thing.
That's like catching the plague. I mean. So if you have any questions about email promotion that we weren't able to cover,
or if you have more tips that we didn't cover,
leave us a comment and we will be happy to respond to you.
Thanks for joining us for our latest Social Media 101 episode, and we will see you next week. Lisa, you can definitely have a very colorful newsletter.
Because you supported our childhoods.